Hello, beloved. It's good to be with you today and to share a word on this week, which for us here in the United States is the week of Thanksgiving. We celebrate and give thanks and gratitude. And I considered making that my topic for today. However, uh, I decided maybe something else seemed more appropriate. Let me remind you to begin with that you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. And as you remember that you're a gift, you can be grateful. This week, I want to talk about or encourage you, particularly if you're going to be with family or friends, wherever you are, or even if you're going to be by yourself. Practice the art of really being there. I don't know about you, but one of the things I find to be true is when I go out to places, I see people sitting together at a table, all of them are on their phones. Now, you may think this is a generational thing that I'm saying because I'm an old guy. We didn't used to have iPhones or Androids or Google or any of the other kinds of delightful phones you might be having. And so we didn't have to worry about that. And I think in some ways we might have been better for that because it feels like to me when we are distracted, we are not really where we are. When we're sitting down to dinner together and everyone is looking at something other than the other people with whom they share the meal, when they're looking not even at the food that they're having, but at something else, it is a way of not being where you really are. So what would it look like to be wherever you were whenever you were there? If it is that which you hope it will be, then being present there in that moment is an opportunity for you to notice things you wouldn't have seen otherwise, to really experience the presence of the other people or other person or just the outside around which you're engaged, noticing it and being present in it. No matter where you go, you can be there. If you take a walk in nature, but you're so busy curating your own musical background to it, you might miss the sound of the birds or the subtle sound of the wind as it blows through the leaves. This is not a judgment. If that's what you want to do, then by all means, give it a shot. But what would it look like? What might it look like if you sat quietly, if you sat silently occasionally, and instead of trying to fill every moment with some form of entertainment, you instead actually were just present in the moment and maybe even experienced just a tiny bit of boredom when your mind could wander a bit on its own. And you might discover you've got all these creative or surprising thoughts going on inside of you that don't require you to find some other way of being somewhere else. Because the truth is, if you're on your phone, which I'm not making a judgment about, you really aren't where you are. You're somewhere else. You are off with someone else who is texting you, or someone else who's Snapchatting you, someone else who is whatever elsing they are, instead of where you are. And one of the greatest joys of waking up to how beautiful life can be and how much we can be thankful for is to actually be where we are. Right now, I'm sitting at my desk. I am thankful, even though it's a tad bit distracting as I'm talking to you. I see that the wind is causing outside my window for a small tree to dance a bit, and I can see that and catch a glimpse of that. And I can just enjoy watching the tree dance. Now, I can't while I'm talking to you because I really am doing my best to be in this moment with you. I encourage you to try just over this week, whether it's Thanksgiving where you are or not, whether you're celebrating Thanksgiving or not, to just practice being where you are. Maybe you won't be able to do it all the time because we've become so used to being distracted by the phone, always entertaining ourselves. You don't just take a walk, you take a walk and you call somebody. You take a walk and you listen to some music or a podcast or something else. What would it look like to just for 5 minutes not seek that kind of entertainment? Maybe you'll find it's terrible for you, absolutely horrible, and you have to walk away, but you won't know until you try. And maybe if you try it a little bit at a time, day after day, moment by moment on occasions, you'll find that there's more to life, that there's more around you, that every moment contains more than you can possibly imagine to begin with before you add any of the other pieces. Just a thought for this week. Perhaps you were hoping for just a moment to be thankful. And if that's what it is, I encourage you, be just that. But also try to really look around and see what there is to be thankful for, because oftentimes the first things that come to our mind might be broadened. The list might be broadened if we were actually in the moment we are. If we were actually here, right now, right here. So give it a thought, give it a try. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you weren't hurt by it, I don't think. But remember always, whether you try it or not, you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift